There should be room for 2 fingers inside the curb chain, and so that it comes tight when the cheek pieces of the bit reach an angle of 45 degrees to the bars of the mouth. The noseband should have 1 finger's clearance, and the throat lash 4 fingers clearance. A second check for the adjustment of the throat lash is that it shouldn't be possible to pull the bridle off easily. The bit should be set high enough to just wrinkle the corners of the mouth. The advantage of a Liverpool bit is that the reins can be attached in various positions to suit the pony. The least effective position is plain cheek, which has no curb effect. For slightly more effect, rough cheek position can be used. Top and bottom bar are increasingly more severe. Bottom bar would not normally be required. This pony drives best on the normal setting of rough cheek. This is a ported Liverpool bit, the port being the raised part in the centre of the bit. This helps to prevent the tongue coming over the bit, which could cause loss of control. This also shows the action of the curb chain on the lower jaw. This is an army reversible bit, also ported, which is similar to a Liverpool, but with the cheek pieces swept back. The cheeks swivel, so, like the Liverpool, it can be reversed so that either the smooth or the rough side of the mouthpiece comes into use. Here you see how a ported Liverpool rests on the tongue. This is a neat and comprehensive spares kit, including candles, lead rope and halter, rein, wound dressing, breeching strap, girth, matches, knife and money, trace, leather punch, hoof pick and hame straps. For putting to, the pony should be held rather than tied up. Check that all settings are correct and all straps in their keepers. It is essential that the traces should be attached to the vehicle before the breeching straps. If the pony should step forward with only the breeching straps done up, the shafts could come out of the tug loops and fall to the ground, possibly breaking. The breeching would probably also break, and the pony could take a long time to recover from such a fright. The vehicle should be brought up to the pony with the shafts well above his back, so that he is not skewered if he steps sideways. Run the shafts through the tug loops and attach both traces, passing them inside the belly band. Both bridging straps are then buckled, in this case to undershaft Ds. Lastly, the belly band is buckled loosely to allow the shaft's movement. It need only be tight enough to prevent the vehicle tipping dangerously if the balance is too far back for a moment. The traces must be supported by the bridging straps so that there is no danger of the pony getting a leg over the trace if it comes slack. The trace should run in as straight a line as possible and may pass either through or over the bridging straps. When the vehicle is pushed back so that the traces are tight, the tug loop should rest on the pad, and there should be a hand's width between the pony's quarters and the bridging. The shaft should be halfway up the pony's side, and the floor of the vehicle should be level. The points of the shaft should be level with the pony's chest. The shaft should be wide enough to clear the pony's sides by an inch or so. There is less risk of a collar rub if the vehicle is fitted with either a swingle tree or sprung trace hooks, especially if using a breast collar. These trace hooks pass through holes in the splinter bar to a leaf spring. This is a correctly fitting turnout. Here you see a vehicle that is too small for the horse. The point of the shaft is behind the chest. Even though the shaft is halfway up the ribs, you will see that the floor is sloping up at the front. There is very little clearance between the dashboard and her quarters are above the top of the dashboard. And here you see the opposite problem, where the vehicle is too big for the pony. The point of the shaft now is in front of the chest. Again, the shaft is correctly halfway up the ribs, but this time the floor is sloping down at the front. There is now too much space between the dashboard and her quarters, and because the shafts are low, the seat is thrown ahead of the axle. This would spoil the balance of the vehicle and put too much weight on the shafts. From the moment that the whip, that is the coachman, takes up the reins, she should be able to control the pony should the groom fail to do so. If you buckle the reins together, there is a danger of catching your foot in